Hello P5 members, welcome back to our online lessons. On behalf of Kampala Quality, I greet you all. We are still talking about verbs, and I hope we are almost finishing them. As I begin my lesson, I can't forget to remind you, please, to stay safe. Corona is real and it is killing people. Please, don't risk your life. We still need you alive. Until next year when the schools open, then we shall be with you. We want you alive. Please, don't forget to put on the mask. Don't forget to stay at home. We are still looking at verbs. In our previous lesson, I left you with an exercise to complete the table on verbs by adding ing. So, you were supposed to add ing on these verbs: carry, carrying, lie, lying, and so on. So you have to read the verbs. After reading these verbs and their present participle forms, you get a pencil and mark yourself, then make corrections. All the verbs are here. I'm not reading them for you. You're supposed to read them yourself. And please don't forget that you're supposed to use these verbs to construct meaningful sentences orally. We are still on verbs and we are still forming the present participle forms. By the end of this lesson, you're supposed to write the present participle forms of verbs that we shall look at, and you are also supposed to construct meaningful sentences using the present participle forms of the given verbs. Get a book and a pen. Active participation. Sit in a quiet place. Stay away from distractions. And please be attentive. We are still looking at present participle forms of verbs. Unlike in the past participle forms, where some verbs that ended with e maintained them. In these verbs, we are going to drop e. Verbs that end in e, most of them drop it before adding ing. However, there are those which retain, so you don't simply memorize the grammar. You have to be attentive. Some verbs drop e before adding ing, while some verbs retain them. Then, as we have already said, verbs that end with y. This time, even those which end with y following a consonant, maintain it. Although in the previous lesson, we had said that when forming the present participle form and forming when forming the past participle forms, we were dropping y for I. This time in present participle form, we maintain y. We simply add ing. Then verbs that end in ie, drop it for y. They drop ie for y before adding ing. Now let's look at those verbs. So you're going to write for me. You are going to write for me 6 verbs that end in y following a consonant and they don't drop, they maintain y. You will simply add ing. Remember, we will write 2 columns, one column for the base form, another column for the present participle form. You have 10 seconds. You write the verbs that end with y following a consonant. Then in front, you simply add ing. Don't drop y. Okay, can we continue? Let's look at the pictures. What is happening in the pictures? Let's just mention the verbs. We simply mention the verbs. For example, these verbs, the verbs to describe these pictures end with y following a consonant. They end with y following a consonant. For example, flying, frying, In picture A, frying. Picture B, crying. Picture C, flying. Picture 4, coping. So the verbs are fry, cry, fly, and copy. So we are supposed to construct sentences using these pictures. What is happening? We can say the child is crying. We can say the child is crying. We can say the birds are flying. The birds are flying. We can say the boy is copying. Let's read the verbs together. These verbs end in Y following. They end in Y following a consonant. They maintain Y, they don't drop. And we are going to read together. Party, patting. Dirty, dirting. Copy, copying. Cry, crying. Defy, defying. Shy, shying. Spy, spying. Worry, worrying. Hurry, hurrying. Marry, marrying. Carry, carrying. Study, studying. Simplify, simplifying. Multiply, multiplying. Now, we are supposed to use these verbs to construct meaningful sentences. For example, we can say that the birds are flying in the air. We can say the child is crying. We can say we are studying English. We can say the boy is carrying a basket. Now, the verbs that end in E, drop it. Verbs that end in E, drop it before adding ing. Let's look. You're going to write for me the 6 verbs that end in E and they drop E before adding ing. You have 10 seconds. Write for me 5 verbs that end in E and they drop E before adding ing. And I expect you to have a table with 2 columns. A column for the base form, a column for the present participle form. Let's look at the pictures. What is happening in the pictures? We go to picture 1, writing. The verb is writing. We can say a student is writing in his book. Picture 2, driving. We can say the man is driving a car. Picture 3, we can say weaving. A woman is weaving a basket. Picture 4, biting. So let's construct some sentences. A woman is weaving a basket in picture 3. A man is driving a car in picture 2. So which verbs did we have? In picture 1, the verb is write. We drop E, we make it writing. Picture 2, the verb is drive. We drop E, make it driving. Picture 3, we have weave. Drop E, weaving. Picture 3, bite. Drop E, biting. Let's read together the verbs. We read the base form and the present participle form. And don't forget that you're supposed to change those verbs, to use those verbs to construct sentences using the present participle form. Write, writing. We are reading together. We drop E before adding ing. Arrange, arranging. We drop E. Pile, piling. Close, closing. Clothe, clothing. Smile, smiling. Bake, baking. Dance, dancing. Make, making. Confuse, confusing. Drive, driving. Dive, diving. Hide, hiding. Ride, riding. Bite, biting. Now, we are going to use these verbs to construct sentences. For example, can say with the word close. The boy is closing the door. Arrange. The class monitor is arranging books. Write. The teacher is writing on the chalkboard. Make. We are making baskets. Hide. A girl is hiding behind the door. And many others. You add for me some more, like 5 verbs that end in E and drop it. Also construct some sentences. Then some verbs maintain E. Some verbs maintain E before adding I and G. So we are going to write for me 6 verbs that end in E and maintain it before adding ing. They don't drop it. You have 6 seconds. Okay, let's look at the verbs. You compare my verbs with the ones you have. What is happening in picture A? Picture A, we have hoe, hoe. The verb is hoe, hoeing. Digging with a hoe is hoeing. Here the man is making a horse wear a shoe. So what do we say? Shoeing. He is shoeing a horse. Picture 3, the man is putting dye on cloth. So what do we say? A man is dyeing cloth. Then picture 4, they are sailing a canoe. So what do we say? They are canoeing. So which verbs do we have? We have in picture A, hoe, which changes to hoeing. We don't drop. We have picture 2, shoe. We don't drop E. We say shoeing. Picture 3, dye. We don't drop E. We say dyeing. Picture 4, canoe. And we don't drop it. It becomes canoeing. Let's look at another group. This person drank too much. In picture A, he drank too much. In picture 3, he ate too much. So the act of drinking or eating, you eat a lot of food within a very short period. You drink a lot within a very short period. We call it binging. The verb is binge. Then it is binging. Then, when you burn something on a light flame, we call it singe. Singe. Some of you who usually buy snacks like these roasted G-nuts, the people who roast those G-nuts, they get polythene, then they pass it over a flame, and then they seal it. We call it singeing. You slightly burn. So here, they are slightly burning. Then we are constructing sentences. We say, this man is binging on beer. Okay? So please, this is a very bad habit. If any of you like to do it, you find yourself having a plate with this food, stop binging, please. A lot of food is not good for your health. So let's read the verbs. Have verbs like dye, dyeing. Some of your mothers always put dye on their hair. We say, Mama is dyeing her hair. Then shoe, shoeing. Like we said, a man is shoeing a horse. Canoe, canoeing. They are canoeing across River Nile. Be, being. Stop being mad. Singe, singeing. He is singeing a piece of cloth. Flee, fleeing. That is to run away. To run away. Flee, fleeing. Then we have free, freeing. Agree, agreeing. Binge, binging. Now, you're supposed to use those verbs to construct meaningful sentences. Then, these verbs also end with E. But these ones, they drop E. These ones, they drop IE for Y. These verbs drop IE for Y. For example, in picture A, lie, lie. This is different from the act of telling lies. The act of telling lies, we maintain IE. But the act of lying on a flat surface, we drop IE for Y. Can say the woman is lying on a mat. Picture 2, vie. They are competing. Each one wants, these people had won a trophy. Now each one of them is trying to reach the trophy. So we say they are vying for a trophy. Then picture 3, he is tying shoelaces. She is tying shoelaces. So which verbs do we have? We have lie, vie, tie. And we drop IE for Y. What shall it be? Lying, vying, and tying. So those are the verbs we have. Even die, die, dying, tie, tying, lie, lying, vie, vying. Then verbs, there are some verbs which end in IC, but for these ones, they add K before adding ING. So they add king. Verbs that end in IC, add KING. So can you write for me 6 verbs that end in IC and they will add KING? You have 6 seconds. Let's cross-check. So we see this lady is feeling free and enjoying her life. She's free, she doesn't have any stress, she doesn't have any problems, she's just enjoying out in the green scenery. So which verb shall we use to describe that act of being happy and free without any stress? The word is frolic, frolic, frolic. And we shall say she is frolicking. She is frolicking. I know before the time of Corona, every holiday, sometimes in the weekend, your parents used to take you out. You pack some eats, you go out and you enjoy. And the verb is, in picture 2, picnic, picnic, picnic. Then some people take away other people's children and they take them illegally. The verb is traffic, traffic. Then the road is being constructed using sand and stones to make it waterproof. Which verb is that? Tarmac. So when you have these verbs, we are adding K-I-N-G. For example, frolic in picture A or in picture 1 will become frolicking. Picnic, picnicking. Traffic, trafficking. Tarmac, tarmacking. You are supposed to know how to use those words to construct meaningful sentences. So those are the verbs we have said. Verbs that end in C, we simply add K-I-N-G. Let's read together. Panic, panicking. Picnic, picnicking. Traffic, trafficking. Mimic, mimicking. Frolic, frolicking. Tarmac, tarmacking. Mimic is to copy. When someone says, go out, you also repeat, go out. Whatever someone does, you also try to copy that person. That is mimicking. So you have that activity. You're supposed to fill in the correct form of the words given in brackets. Remember, we are using the present participle form by adding ing. I expect you to write this work and complete it. There are 15 numbers. And as I sign out, I remind you, please stay safe. Take time to read your books. And please don't touch your face, your ears, and the nose. Till we meet next time, bye-bye.